Most people dream about moving to a tropical island and doing what they love for a living. Today I'm talking to Aaron Buchan, who actually did it. He's been in the fitness industry for over 20 years and today he runs the entire fitness operation across all 3 Homa properties here in Phuket. In a place where most coaches struggle to keep clients, especially during low season, Aaron is fully booked year-round. But that's Aaron now. 20 years ago, he was somewhere else entirely.
The real pain point for me is I had a car accident in 2003. 2004, I admitted to having a drinking problem. So that was a really big eye-opener for me and it changed my life totally. I probably wouldn't be sitting here today if I was still drinking.
From that point, Aaron put everything into fitness. In this episode, we talk about how he made it into a 20-year career, how he decided to move to Phuket, and what he had to do to create his dream job. What stood out to me is the perseverance and self-confidence Aaron had in creating his dream life. That's a key ingredient in building a purposeful career, and in this conversation, we get to see how Aaron developed it.
So I left a full-time job in a factory of top money for practically nothing, but it was the best day of my life. I knew I had a lot to give, but I didn't have a platform to give it properly. So that was the biggest problem.
How did you create this career, this life?
My journey started a long time ago.
I'm Alex, and this is Purposeful, the podcast where I sit down with people who have built careers and lives they genuinely love. I wanted to talk to you here because I know you from Homa,
Yes.
where you're head coach,
Yes.
and we've been training 2 months. I can clearly see you're good at what you do because I
Thank you.
already see difference in myself, in
Yeah.
the strength, the confidence I have in the gym because you also
Sure.
explain things very well.
Right.
So you set me up to be able to train on my own
Sure.
and not always depend on you, and
Sure.
that's amazing.
Exactly right. That's what a good coach is going to always do.
I also see that you enjoy what you
Yeah.
do. I always see you
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah.
You always go to these competitions where you pay with your own money. So
Sure.
clearly this is more than a job. And that's the type of people I like to interview. How did you create this career, this life? Do you want to give us a quick introduction about you?
My journey started a long time ago, like in my 20s. If I take it back to where I think like the real pain point for me is I had a car accident in 2003, which any sort of trauma in your life is going to make you like hit like rock bottom and see like where you really want to go in life. So like for me, it was a really big reality check. In 2004, I admitted to having a drinking problem. So that was a really big eye opener for me and it changed like my life totally. I probably wouldn't be sitting here today if I was still drinking. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with my life after that? I got some conversation from the car accident. I thought I've got to put this as something that is going to be positive in my life that can help to grow my future and to become a better person. Fitness was always a big passion of mine as a kid growing up and even in the gyms training and stuff like that in my 20s. So I decided to go down that path of doing the personal training course. And then it just, I suppose I spiraled out from there. It was just like something that I was like truly passionate about that gave me, I think, like good energy. And a great day in my life is I was working in a factory. I'll never forget the day I got a job in a gym. So I left a full-time job in a factory of top money. I left it for practically nothing, but it was the best day of my life. Right? It was such a good feeling. I'll never forget the day I got home from work and it's just like one of them like moments that you don't ever forget. And that was the start of my career from them. I was like working in a small family business. I stayed there for a couple of years. I went into franchise through like Fitness First. I was there for another probably like 5 or 6 years. And then I started my own personal training studio. I was there for 7 years. I downsized. I worked with a physio for another like 3 or 4 years. And then in that time, I was doing some traveling. I came to Thailand. I think the first time was back in 2017. I first came on a triathlon training camp. I stayed for 2 weeks and just fell in love with the place. It was just absolutely fantastic. I loved it. From that time, I started to learn Thai and I'm like, one day I'm going to come and I'm going to live here. But obviously it was a tough challenge as well. I think like one of the hardest parts was, I think like after COVID, I decided to come here like full time. And I wanted to live here. I had online coaching at the moment, which was good, but I seen it sort of start to come down a lot as well in regard to the funding. Online coaching is oversaturated a lot at the moment. So it was getting tough. And I spent 2 years working on that part of the business, but unfortunately, it wasn't successful enough to me to stay in Thailand to live. So at that time, I went back to Australia for 5 months. And once you've spent a certain amount of time in Thailand, it's hard to go back to that lifestyle. So like that was probably the toughest thing for me, I think, like going back to that lifestyle. I tried to find like work there. I got a couple job offers, which was low income. I think I got offered like $25 an hour or something, which I thought, I'm not gonna work like 40 hours a week like for that. So anyway, I got a rental on like my house in Australia, and they paid up front for 12 months. I thought, right, that's it. I'm out of here. So I came back to Phuket and I spent another probably 6 months. I spoke to every gym in Phuket trying to find work, and everyone pretty much said the same thing. You got to get your own work permit. So I bit the bullet. I had a friend at the time that said, look, you can connect to my company, which turned out to be a bit complicated a bit later on, but it was good for the short term. And then from there, I got an introduction to Homa. 2 years later, it's been great. It's been fantastic. So that's obviously the short story.
That is very heroic. All the challenges, everything put in front of you. But yeah, as we talked, I think you're accustomed to doing hard things and just going over them.
For sure.
And triathlon, that's not easy. You have to always push yourself.
For sure. So the 2 years I spent online coaching, I was like running out of money. So it was quite tough at the time. I was just surviving, like just enough to stay in Thailand, pay for your rent, pay for food. So it was like, what am I going to do next? So that was a tough turning point, definitely.
Do you want to tell how it is for you right now? Because you're now in Homa, you get great clients and work with them. So how is it for you?
So I suppose like what I tell people, like I've got the dream job. It's what I've always dreamed about, when people come to Phuket, they've got these endorphins. Everyone's on a holiday all the time. So it's a bit like different to like reality in your own country, but it suits me absolutely like perfectly. So when I got the introduction to Homa, I got introduced to like one of the directors like from a friend of mine, and it was pretty much all set in concrete like from that day. So it was great to be able to meet someone. I suppose in those 2 years with online coaching and stuff like that, I knew I had a lot to give, but I didn't have a platform to give it properly. So that was the biggest problem, right? If you're successful at something, but you haven't got the right platforms or the right people to talk to, then it's quite difficult and it's quite like frustrating. The online coaching, it was quite like frustrating because I couldn't get it out there. I was talking to people online coaching, but it's not the same as if you're in the gym, talking to people, connecting with people like one-on-one. It's a lot more rewarding like for me. Now I'm working obviously in the hotel. It's a great facility. I've got everything I need there. I don't need to go anywhere else. I've got a good income. I've got good accommodation. I've got great clients. I've got great friends there. So like I said, it's a dream job. I still work extremely hard. For anyone that works in personal training, to do like 8 to 10 hours of personal training straight is quite challenging. It's draining. So it takes a bit of toll as well. So it's important to have that good balance for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because there's sort of like this notion out there, if you do your dream job, it doesn't feel like work. But how do you see that?
I get obviously a lot out of that. It's meeting people every day. It's very motivating to meet different types of people as well. Working in a international hotel, you get all sorts of people from all around the world. So it's quite inspiring to learn from other cultures as well. So it's not just that I'm teaching, I'm learning as well at the same time. That is a very rewarding part of my job as well in regard to that.
I think that one part that you need to pay attention to when you're thinking about what you want to do in your career is to pay attention to what energizes you or what makes you feel alive. Sure. Do you think that the activities that are part of this job, this career, are things that energize you specifically?
Yeah, 100%. When I see people that come into the gym, and example, I take them through a postural testament, I take them through like movement screening, and I can see that all the tests are failing, right? Sometimes I'm the bearer of bad news to most people, but that gives me a lot of passion to help that person. When you can teach someone to squat properly, to deadlift properly, to have good technique in their training, that's something that is rewarding for me to see those changes. It's about teaching them movement patterns and setting them up for the rest of their life. So it's not just 10 sessions, it's something that you're going to teach someone for the rest of their life.
That's great.
Sure.
That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I can clearly see that two things, how you carry yourself, your posture, how you stand. I know you're doing something right. Like I
Sure.
need to learn from you. But then also when I trained with you, I learn a lot and you explain me all these things so
Yeah.
that I know, okay, when I
Yeah.
go back home, I know why I'm doing it.
There's so many careers out there, and I see a lot of personal trainers that aren't like walking, I think, like the talk as well. So you see a lot of personal trainers that aren't training that much. They don't care about posture, or they're eating bad food. So I wouldn't get like any of my clients to do anything I don't do, right? If you're going to come into a career, you've got to be an expert at that, right? And you've got to be like passionate about that. If you're not, then you probably aren't going to be successful in that field. So I think that's a really important thing. And I try to teach a lot of trainers that in my mentoring as well. End of the day, like your body, that's your business card. I get so many clients when I'm just training in the gym and I just like talk to people. So I suppose that's something that is really important, that people can see that you're good at something and you're passionate about something, right? As you said, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever he's doing, I want to do that as well.
And if you do it with a smile, then
Exactly.
that leads to the next question. To have the dream job, it's two things. First, knowing what it is, like knowing where's the direction what you want. And then the second is being successful, learning the skills and being good at that. So I would like to ask you both things.
That's a great question.
Maybe we start with the first one. How did you decide which direction, how this looks for you? You mentioned that you had this experience and you ask yourself, what do you want to do with your life?
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your thinking process?
So I just want to say like one thing, and this is, I think probably going to be some important information as well. Like for you, when in that 2-year period that I couldn't find like work in Phuket, I dabbled with a few other careers. I work in personal training and a big part of that is sales. So I consider myself pretty strong in regard to that field of sales. So I went into real estate, just property management. And I also went into a sales role, selling online packages for business networking, right? And I can talk to people, I can connect with people. It wasn't the same as personal training. It wasn't the same. I wasn't passionate about it. I was just doing it for money. So that was a really tough thing for me to bite like that bullet and go, it's not for me. So like I said, I wanted to try it. I wanted to experience it. I wanted to be successful because I thought I was good at sales, but I'm not good at sales. I'm good at selling something I'm passionate about, and that's it. That is simply it. Trying to sell something else, like deep down in yourself, right? Like, you know, that you're thinking, oh, why would this guy buy this product of me? But like when I sell personal training, I know that I can help someone. I'm 100% confident that I can change their life. So that is a big difference, I think, in regard to career pathways. I see a lot of people doing jobs they hate. It can be depressing, right? I come from Australia. I see a lot of people working 9-to-5 jobs, hate their job, but they've got a mortgage and a family, loans. It's tough. I think for me, that point in going, I've got to do what I'm passionate about. And that's like fitness.
Then let's talk about the second question. This confidence doesn't come out of the blue. Like you built that confidence, you built that skill set and became really good at that. Do you want to share any important milestones that enabled you to become really good at this?
When I was going through school, I was never super confident. I wasn't super motivated. I was just an average guy. But I think once I got into that like role of personal training, all the walls come down, all the barriers come down. I wanted to be that leader. I wanted to be that person that can make change in people. That changes your personality a bit. Like the way I am in PT sessions is not the way I am if I'm at the sauna or something like that. I suppose you sort of put on a different cap when you go into that role as well. That is an important part of the career. If you're passionate about something and you just want to be a leader in your field, put that cap on and you've got to be super motivated, super confident, and all that stuff to help drive that person.
When someone is at that stage and they know, okay, I want to do this, but I'm not good yet, but I want to become good. I was wondering if there was something that you had done at that stage that sort of led you here. Or was there something intentional behind that? Or was there a lot of figuring out, maybe some luck involved?
That's a great question. I'm going to put my coaching cap on right now and I'll say, look, you need to create a vision, right? If you want something that bad, anything is possible. If you've got like doubts about it, you probably aren't going to be that successful. But if you can see a vision and you believe in yourself inside, that's going to have the biggest impact in changing people and yourself. If you've got like doubts in your career, perhaps that career is not going to be the right pathway. But if you truly believe it and you're passionate about it, and if you can see a vision, then it's going to happen. Everything that I've got to today has been a vision that I've envisioned. Every time, if it's like 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, I've thought it. Your thoughts are such a powerful tool. And if you can see a vision and you start to like believe in it, then it's going to happen. 100%. I believe in that. I think like the biggest problem is people don't believe in themselves enough. They've got so much self-doubt, and that's what is going to stop them from like being successful.
I think vision is very, very important. It's also something that I teach. I say you need to know what you want. And when that's clear, the clearer it is, the better. And when you know you want it, then you feel that motivation. It's a goal. You want to contribute to that, to achieve that.
Exactly.
How did you create your vision?
I'll never forget this day. I was in the bathroom and I had this rental house, and on the mirror, it had a sticker, and I looked at the sticker every day, and it was a cross. It was blue and silver and like red. I always thought about personal training. And when I started like my business in Australia, it was called Cross Training Systems. So that cross, it created obviously a vision of what I wanted to do in the future. So it's so weird that happened, but I'm a big like visionary person that like once you see something on the daily, and if you believe on it, it's going to happen.
Okay, but you didn't put that sticker in there. It was already
I didn't put it there. No, someone put it there like for me. It was like the universe and fate. Yeah.
You mentioned you had different careers in the past. How did they help you with where you are right now?
It's helped me so much to become the person I am today. When I left school at 16, I was working in a metal spinning factory, busting my ass, like 8 to 10 hours a day. The boss was an absolute ass. That taught me a lot of resilience. And then I worked in a car component company. So like we used to make all the weather strips for Holdens and Fords and Toyotas. And that gave me some great leadership skills as well. I did a lot of leadership training through that company. You've got a lot of protocol that you have to follow. And I think all that type of stuff, putting it in to personal trainings, working for a company now, obviously in the hotel that hadn't had a lot of systems all set up. It gave me like the experience to be able to put them personal training like tools and gym stuff into those types of procedures as well. So that's sort of ingrained that all big companies that are strong and powerful need to have good procedures, terms and conditions, like guidelines and all that sort of stuff. So that's helped me a lot in regards to that for sure.
Well, that also matches my experience. Even if you're right now not doing something that you like, you're not happy with your job, you're learning something, and that will always bring something of that into your next career.
Yeah,
and that
definitely.
Helps you where you are.
For sure. Even though I like these jobs, I hated it, I still learned a lot. I suppose it helps you take you to the next step.
Can I ask you about that period where you were not in fitness yet? Was it very clear since then that you wanted to go into fitness, and it was more the challenge of how to get in there? Or were there like multiple things and you were not sure?
Look, working for the car component company, it's good money. It's not always about passion, but it's for money, right? Like we need to survive. Like we got like rent to pay, loans to pay, food. A lot of people get stuck there. So I was probably stuck there. When I had that car accident in 2003, it gave me some compensation money to go, right, I've got to break free of this. I got that opportunity to have some additional funds that I could do the personal training course. But in regard to like when I hated that job, I still was in the gym every day. I was cycling. I was doing all that type of fitness stuff as well.
A friend called it like the golden handcuffs, where you're getting paid, it's comfortable, and you stay there. But you already were in fitness. Was there any doubt in if you wanted to make that your career, or was that more on how to get there?
I think it was, how am I going to get there? How am I going to do the course? Back then, the course was actually quite cheap. It was about 3,000 Australian dollars. So it was quite cheap back then compared to now. So I never had that additional type of funding to do that. So let's just say I was lucky enough to get that compensation money from a car accident to be able to put that into that career.
But you knew how you had to invest it.
I was like 23, 24. I want to do something for my future. I don't want to be stuck in this sort of like factory work for the rest of my life. For me, it was a no-brainer. I've got to do this.
I think a big part of how much you enjoy your work is also how aligned it is to the lifestyle that you want to have. And now you're living in Phuket and you learn Thai. So that's not something that just happens, something you chose with intention. How was it for you to live here and work here compared to living somewhere else and doing maybe the same work?
I try to compare it to like when I had my own gym, like back in Australia. I had a PT studio. I had about 7 personal trainers working out for me. So we had a great business compared to now. Obviously, I'm in Phuket. I meet some great people. I've got some great clients. We're on an island, man, so it's paradise, right? I think the two lifestyles are so different. I work hard, but there's so much other stuff I can do outside of work. We can go like cycling and see some beautiful views around Phuket. We can go out to some of the best restaurants in Thailand. So compared to Australia, in regards to that, like with the PT business, I was so like restricted there. It wasn't allowing me to live the lifestyle that I really wanted. I work like 5 days a week flat out, right? I do pretty close to like 40 plus hours a week in 5 days. And I still like work a bit on the weekend as well. But compared to like back then, there was nothing to do exciting, right? The people that I was training was, I wouldn't say boring, but I wasn't learning a lot from these type of people. Working in the hotel right now, all different types of cultures, people that are on a holiday, all the endorphins are high. It's like Disneyland almost, practically. Seriously, it's like Disneyland working here. It's amazing. When people come into fitness and they're on a holiday, it's even more intense. So people have more passion to train as well. So it's a lot more motivating for me when I get people that are super motivated to train. And end of the day, like they're like willing to do anything to make change.
When was the moment you knew I want to live here and you made that part of your vision?
That's a great question. I came here back in 2017. I came here, I trained at one of the triathlon training centers, a place called like Tanyapura. I stayed here for 2 weeks and I was like, it's one day I'm going to live here. Yeah, I knew it. It was like the first time I came here, I knew that one day I'm going to live here. And that's when I practically started to learn Thai. You go on like YouTube and you try to learn all the language and the tones. And then after COVID, it's like, it's time. It's time I come here and stay here permanently.
I think you need to know sort of what's the lifestyle that you want to have. And it's very personal, right? It's not, Phuket is not for everyone.
Definitely not.
The point is more like, what is it that you want? What is it that you resonate with? What was it for you when you were here? What did you feel? What did you see that you knew immediately you wanted to stay here?
When I first started coming here, I get those endorphins that I suppose everyone has because it's a holiday. It feels good. It's a different environment. But look, like that does change a bit when you live here like full time. So it starts to become a bit more reality. But it's hard to explain it, to be honest. It's super hard to explain unless you actually experience it.
Did you know before coming to Phuket that you wanted to live in a place like this?
Not really. I didn't know. In Australia, I grew up in Adelaide. So it's a smaller population part of Australia, which it just seemed like the norm. You sort of think this is life. It's going to be like this forever until you go experience something else, another country, another culture, and then you really start to enjoy it. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there listening to this that feel stuck. I felt stuck, like in the country, in the job, mortgage, everything, expenses. That's pretty much the norm these days in like Western society. But until you actually get outside your comfort zones, right? That's the key, to get outside the comfort zones. That's when I told some of my friends I'm packing up, I'm moving to Thailand. They're in shock. Can't believe it. And now I've sold my house in Australia and I'm here for good.
For me, travel has also been so enriching because you get so much perspective about the world. It's very difficult to predict what you will enjoy if you're not in different environments doing
If you
different
don't
things
know,
there.
like you
You don't
don't
have a
know, right?
contrast, yeah. So for anyone that wants to make fitness part of their career, what advice would you give? What are sort of like the core things you would encourage this person to learn or to do in order to make it?
People that enjoy fitness as a hobby and are thinking about coming into personal training as a full-time career, you really got to ask yourself, is this something that you're super passionate about that you can believe in yourself to make an income from? It's not just about the training. It's more, are you a people person? Can you connect with people? Are you good at convincing people? Are you good at selling your products? It's not just about what you do in the gym. Anyone can teach a squat, a deadlift, a lunge, a pull down, a chest press, but a lot of people can't connect with people. A lot of people can't convince people. A lot of people don't have that authority to convince people or that persuasion to sell their product. If you're not good at those things, then you're not going to be successful in personal training. I spent a lot of time as well, like mentoring personal trainers, and I've seen grown up men crying to me that they can't be successful because they haven't got all them other aspects as well. If you love training in the gym, that's not a qualification for that you're going to be a good personal trainer. Ask yourself like that type of question. Right? Can you connect with people? Can you relate with people? Can you convince people and sell your product? They're the key components to being successful in personal training. Look, obviously, I'm likable for probably about like 75% of my clients. There's people that don't like me, and that's okay. That's all part of it. But being unlikable and able to like relate and connect with people is probably the key. It's called personal training for a good reason. So you got to get personal like with people.
Was there in your 20-year career, like any key milestones that unlocked more success or more clients for you? Maybe a certification, maybe a given skill, or was it always like progressing little by little?
I was super lucky to work in some really great gyms and have some really great mentors to do some really great advanced courses. When I first come into the fitness industry, I said I left my full-time job for a small paying gym shift. But that gym, they taught me a lot about all the sales in regard to fitness, and they drilled it into me super hard. And I sort of took that and I excelled with that. And I've like used that for my whole 20-year career. I think like passion and just having that experience in regard to like be able to sell your product. So I was quite lucky to come into that and have those like mentors to teach me them sales skills in the beginning as well.
I think definitely the mentorship is a big part, right? Like
The key
being able
part,
to
the
learn,
key part.
getting feedback from someone more
For
experienced,
For
and
sure.
then
So when you do a 6-week course in Australia, they teach you the bare like minimum, man. It's nothing. It takes at least 5 years to become a good personal trainer. What all these 6-week courses are teaching is like motivation and confidence and all that type of stuff. So all these students are coming out into the world thinking that they know everything, but really like, they know like nothing. Yeah, that's the reality of it. And they're training all these clients and they're hurting all these people. It's about education after that. I've been 2 decades in fitness. I'm still learning. So there's still a lot to learn in regard to movement and the human body. There's so
yeah,
much to learn.
many people don't believe you can love your work. What's your opinion?
As I said, I've got the dream job, but sometimes it can be quite stressful. Sometimes it can be challenging. If you're passionate about something, like it's not going to be 100% you're going to be in your dream world. I think if you've got a good balance, I think like how you can really love your career and your job and what you do. And if you're getting some like satisfaction, if you're helping people, making a difference, that creates the love of it for the job for sure. It's never going to be perfect, but there's going to be that small time that you get stressed out. In personal training, I've been like burnt out so like many times, but I still love my job. But sometimes that you just have to pull back a bit as well and take care of yourself. I always say like for me as well, I got to give to myself like before I can give to you. So in the day, like I'm always training in the mornings I can't not train and then like come and train you. After a week of that, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. So training for me is a priority. It gives me good energy to be able to love my job.
I have this hypothesis that the things that energize you, make you feel alive, are also the things that you're good at and are strengths of yours. Is that
Sure.
something that you see? Do you think that's also part of why you're so successful at what you do? Because that's also strengths or talents of yours?
If you are making a difference to someone's life, that's like good energy. That's got to come back to you and be so positive and make you feel good about yourself. It keeps that drive going as well. 2 decades in fitness, most people will only last like 1 year. Okay, some people last up to 5 years, but there's a small percentage that actually make it to 2 decades in the fitness industry because end of the day, like they're successful at what they do. So if you're not successful, you aren't going to continue. So if you're successful at what you do, it's going to keep you driving. It's going to give you that good energy to keep going for sure.
So what about people that want to come to Thailand and work and live here?
I get people that come here for a holiday and they're living the dream for 2 weeks, right? They get to go to training, they get to go to the saunas, they get great restaurant, they see the beach life, the party life, all that sort of stuff. And they go, I want to live here. And they go, well, how do I work here? I'm going to work here. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do that. It's not that easy. It's actually quite challenging. I'm saying that because I was one of those people that first came here. But look, a lot of people don't want foreigners to just come straight in and work here. So the locals, right? Like you're taking up a lot of local jobs, even though obviously I'm not Thai, but still someone to walk in and go, I'm going to start a PT. I'm going to start a PT like business or a gym. I sort of cringe a bit because it's not that easy, right? Like you need to be part of the community. I think like one big thing to be successful is to build a community. If you haven't got a community, people don't like know you. So it took a long time to start to build that like community and to become a well-known professional in obviously fitness. So for someone that just wanted to step in, it's almost impossible unless you've got a lot of money that you can put into business, but you've still got to have connections. Connections are so important. I was lucky enough to get an introduction to the directors at Homa to be able to spend 12 months to prove myself that I could be successful.
Yeah, that definitely is always a big part of your career. It's first you need to have the skills. If you wouldn't have the skills, no connection would help you.
Exactly.
Then need to prove that you have those skills. So you have
Exactly.
all the certificates, you have all those things and all the past experience. And of course, your body, yourself, like it's clearly visible, you are fit. And then, yes, the network, the people that you know, that also unlocks a big part.
I think like that's a huge part. If you're a local here, everyone knows you. So it's important to make sure that you can start to be part of that community, especially in fitness. There's probably about like 4 or 5 local gyms that all the people in fitness know each other.
Right.
And I think as well, it's super important that the fitness communities work together. People get bored. People need changes all the time. So I think changing from one gym to the next is quite positive. It gives people a better experience. Some people might not like coming into our gym. So it's good to experience and find something that suits that individual person. I think it's super important.
If you could give your 20-year-old self an advice, one piece of advice that would help him get quicker to where you are right now, what would you tell him?
I think to cut out everything in 28 years, the key would be to get educated, to find a good platform, to find something that you can get the word out like quickly. I had my PT studio in Australia, which was quite successful, but it became a one-man show. So I had to work pretty much 24/7. In the end, I got so burnt out, I got sick of it. It was so hard. So if you can connect with someone or a platform, a company that can help you grow, I think that would be the key. I think support networks. I tried to do everything by myself. It's impossible. And you get to a point where you can only grow so far.
Yeah, I mean, right now where you are at Homa, there are the posters and they're very well done and all your certificates are there and a short story about you. I'm now 3 months here. I want to get really fit. I want to be strong. I want to go out feeling much better, improve
Sure.
myself. And so, yeah, let's talk to you. And then, of course, you do your part, but you are on this platform where it's so easy for people to find you.
Sure. I think like with my business as well that I had in Australia, I was the coach. I was like the mentor. I was like the marketing. I was the finance. I was everything. I was a toilet cleaner, you know, I was everything, you know, and that really makes it quite challenging. A lot of
Yeah.
small businesses are struggling because they're one-man bands.
You even, no matter how much you enjoy it, if you're constantly working all the time,
Yeah.
you're going to burn yourself
For
out and
sure.
you're going to
For sure.
start
End
hating
of
it.
the day, like you hate your job, right?
Yeah.
It's gone from your passion, but you're doing all these other things that you dislike.
Yeah.
Right. For me, I love coaching. I love talking to people. I love networking. I love seeing people change. But if you're doing all that other stuff, it just adds another stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Where can people find you, learn from you, what you do, your services?
At Homa, you can go to the Homa website or you can contact me through Facebook. You can check out like my name. That's Aaron Buchan. Or you can check out like my website as well, aaronbuchan.com.
Amazing.
Thanks, man.